It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Monday, October 23rd edition. Isaiah and I just want to say thanks to everyone who's listening. Thanks for downloading and tuning in. If you stick around all the way to the end of the podcast, you'll get a weekend wedding recap from Isaiah. Find out if any drama went down at his friend's wedding.
We also talk about why Tinder wants everyone swiping. Even if you're in a relationship, get on there and swipe.
A reasonable excuse, some would say, to get on Tinder even if you're committed to somebody. And a whole lot more along the way. Enjoy. And we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. RadioU.
I think there's too many streaming services.
There's a lot of them.
There is a ton of streaming services. There's one for everything. And now, and I mean that because now, and I can't believe it took us this long to get here, there's a streaming service exclusively for barbecue content. Smoking, wood chips,
Grilling,
brisket, all of it. It's called Embers TV. And it is a streaming service. They call it Netflix for barbecue lovers. Now, how much do you have to pay for this streaming service, you may wonder? I believe that it's free. It better be. But with all of this barbecue content, it's a 24/7 network of renowned pit masters, outdoor cooking experts, and your favorite creators celebrating all things barbecue.
hey, this at least has a target audience.
It sure does. And I can picture it right now. My dad.
This is something you can put on in the background, and you don't even have to worry about it.
That's right. Although, again,
It's just crackling.
if there is like a group of 40 plus men, they might be distracted.
True.
This might be the one thing, possibly besides football, that would just be a honing beacon for dads everywhere, that their attention will be drawn to this. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I can imagine me maybe sitting for a few minutes and there might be some barbecue content that might even draw me in a little bit. I like barbecue. I just like barbecue. I like it to eat it. I don't think I like it as much to watch for more than 3 minutes.
I went to their website.
Okay.
It is showing a price.
No way. You can't. This isn't free.
It's not free.
This isn't
no.
just on. I figured it was just something like on the Roku
No.
box that you could get.
This is $5.99 a month or $60 a year. Not bad.
It can't be worth that.
It can't be. It says, you want to hear what it says? It comes with
What's that?
unlimited streaming, of course.
Yeah.
New episodes weekly.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Of my favorite Pitmaster shows.
Stream on multiple devices at once. Download and watch. Just in case.
Hey, Barry, get off of the Embers TV. I'm trying to use it here on my phone. Would you get off of the app on the TV? Sheesh.
Download and watch your favorites on the go.
That's helpful.
Ad-free streaming.
Oh,
And-
ad-free. Okay, now I understand why they're charging for it.
And then exclusive discounts and offers.
What about recipes?
That'd be nice.
I feel like that would be a good added bonus for any of these streaming services. $5.99 a month, though. That's like more than you pay for the Food Network and every other thing that comes with the Food Network.
Well, those don't come with things like Masterclass, Pitmaster's Journal, the Backyard Barbecue Invite, and the Windy City Smokeout.
Oh, no. Well, that's right. That's exclusive content that is worth paying for.
Learn from the industry's best. And there's so many ways to watch. I'm just reading their website straight down.
What is wild, though, is I know, and I bet you there's people right now listening that they're like, I'd much rather pay $5.99 for this than HBO Max. 100%.
At least this is very interesting.
If you're into barbecue, there's definitely a target audience for this.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
This is a tough one. One of these new studies that I don't know. I just feel like these always go back and forth. But a new study has come out that says that red meat consumption is associated with increased type 2 diabetes risk. Apparently, 2 servings of red meat a week increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. You know the different types of diabetes?
I don't.
Me neither.
There's a couple, though.
Is there one that's like not as bad?
Hopefully it's type 2.
I got the good diabetes. It's type 4. I don't know. But I don't think there is a good diabetes, which is why I think this is bad news. But then again, if I'm just going to be honest with you, I see these studies come out back and forth all the time, and I know this is very cynical of me, but I just assume that anything that's pro-meat is paid for by, like, meat farmers. And anything that's anti-meat, like this one, it even says to replace it with plant-based protein. I just assume it's the Beyond whatever people
Yep.
probably behind it. Anyways, I don't really care about the study that much. I do have a good question, though. If you had to give up all but one meat, which meat would you stick with?
So off the top of my dome,
Yeah, here's your.
I'm thinking pork,
Yep.
chicken,
Mm-hmm.
beef,
Yep. Those are the
fish.
3 main food groups.
Are there any other ones? Those are the big boys, right?
Yeah, those would be the popular choices. Somebody could be a little, I don't know, just contrarian and say like bison or something,
That'd
which
be
is
crazy.
good. I just had bison burger recently. It's good. Venison, some would say. But I think probably odds are most people are going to pick one of those 4. Maybe turkey.
Nobody likes turkey that much, right?
I don't know.
couldn't say turkey with a straight face.
It's an option.
It is an option.
It's probably the 4th or 5th option.
Yeah.
Some people really like turkey bacon. It's a healthy alternative. You want to open this up to the Riot Hotline and see what the voting public would say?
Yes, because I think there's a lot of different arguments you could make. Right away, people would go maybe lean towards a certain one, but I think the longer you think about it, the more foods that come to your mind, the harder it becomes.
Yeah, think about the foods, really the foods you'd have to leave behind.
Yes.
And which one would be the hardest to leave behind. 8772 Radio U. If you could only eat one animal the rest of your life, which animal would that be? Would it be cow, chicken, pork, fish, or otherwise?
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the Riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U. We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Question is, if you are only able to eat one type of meat, beef, pork, chicken, turkey, fish, something else, for the rest of your life, which meat would you choose? People are texting in. People like Derek, who says chicken. Patrick says pork. He says, I need my bacon and pork chops. When's the last time you had a pork chop?
I have no idea. A
Me
long
neither.
time ago.
Me neither. My memories of pork chops, I don't know if I've had one in my adult life, but you know what? The most common way I would eat pork chops when I was a kid?
How?
Shake and bake pork chops, which probably isn't the best advertisement for pork chops. There's got to be better ways to serve them. Philip says beef. So many options. Regina says, morning. Chicken is a staple at my house, so got to keep that one. But she also is supporting turkey bacon. She says it's delicious. I don't think you'll find arguments here, right? We like turkey bacon.
Yep.
Not as good as real bacon,
But still very good.
but it can be quite good. Sage said I would keep turkey, but also a crying, laughing face. So I don't know if that's a joke
That's serious.
or if Sage is crying, laughing at us saying that nobody would pick turkey. I definitely wouldn't pick turkey. I know one that was easy to eliminate, and it was turkey for me.
Yeah, I'm not about turkey either.
Grace, I would say venison, but you have to mix it with beef fat for ground meat, so probably chicken. But she thinks her dad would pick turkey.
You must like turkey sandwiches.
So venison just can't shine on its own, at least if you want to grind it, if you want to have ground meat, ground venison. You learn something new every day. Isaiah, what's your choice?
I think for me, it would probably go, because I'm trying to break down with foods. Because chicken, you got tenders, you got wings.
Yep.
Maybe some people would consider buffalo chicken dip. You need some chicken
That could
to
be.
make that happen. Then you got pork, which is like ham, pulled pork, bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Beef is like hamburger, taco meat,
Steak.
brisket.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think about it that way, I probably have to lean either chicken or beef. Pork moves down to 3 for me because pulled pork would be the reason I'd keep it.
Yeah.
But then I could just do a beef brisket, which for me is similar enough to where I'll move pork down because I like bacon, but I don't have it enough to justify it being that high.
Yeah, and bacon is it's like a bonus.
Yeah.
It's not it doesn't I mean it does taste great on its own, but
It's not a day-to-day meat.
It's not a meal.
Yeah.
A burger is a meal. A steak is a meal. A bacon is if you got to eat a lot of bacon.
I think I'm going to go chicken, then beef, then pork.
I feel like I'm not quite a man's man if I don't say bacon or if I don't say beef because then I have to give up steak. It dawned on me, but honestly, routinely, taco meat and burgers are the only beef I eat normally, and I do eat those a lot. But then again, I think chicken, it'd be harder to live without chicken.
Like if I go to a restaurant and I really need to pick something,
Mm-hmm.
chicken's a way better fallback option. I can always get a hamburger, I guess. But chicken tenders, chicken wings, there's a lot more options there for me.
Hard
usually.
to go wrong. And the reason we bring this all up was because there's a new study that says that if you eat red meat twice a week, you increase your risk for type 2 diabetes. And I do like that David texted in and said, honestly, I don't even care. I'm not stopping eating red meat. I think we all feel the same way. You see these studies come out, and I just think, it was good enough for our grandparents. So it's got to be good enough for us, right?
Yeah, just have some fun,
Yeah,
you know?
just like cigarettes and
All the other things.
yeah.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Isaiah, you've flown on just about every airline that flies around the U.S., right?
Just about, I would say.
Do they all board the same way normally?
Pretty usually, yes.
I was
Not
gonna-
all of them the exact same.
Yeah. Some of them it's chaos, right? Some of it's like Southwest.
Some of them you have a seat.
Yep.
Some of them it's first one's on.
You ever feel like it's inefficient the way it boards?
I don't even know which way I prefer. You know?
Yeah. Well, I've got it seems to me it would make sense. The logical way to me would be the people on the back of the plane board first. And then you go from there, right? Because instead, what they usually seem to do is if they board it in order, you like go front to back. But then the people that are in the front are blocking it so the people at the back can't go through. It doesn't make sense to me. Then you have some that just you just get groups and you just go and you find your own seat. But I like, this is interesting. United Airlines is trying a new approach to their boarding system, a revolutionary way they're going about it. And to me, a big win for equality. They are going to let women board first.
Wait, what now? Are you being serious?
No, I'm making that up.
I was about to say, that's a
But
crazy way.
if they were, wouldn't that be better?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yes is the
Mhm.
right answer, I
yes,
think.
it is.
Ladies
No,
first, get on there.
They're doing something called the Wilma approach.
Okay.
And the Wilma approach, I don't know. Wilma stands for something. I don't know exactly what it is. But the idea is the window seats board first. So everybody on the outside of the plane, the window seats board first, then middles, I guess. and then aisle seats.
This makes sense.
Does it?
Because then you don't have to go through the person who has the aisle seat having to get up,
Yeah.
letting them in. Because there's nothing more.
That's inefficient.
There's nothing more intimidating than walking down a flight. You're trying to find a seat, and there's only like a middle seat available, and so then you have to go by somebody. You have to ask them to get up. I hate doing that. I hate having to ask. Or if there's like if there's two people sitting in the row, and you're trying to make your way to your seat that's a window seat, and you got to have both of them get out. It really backs things up.
Yeah, that is the picture of inefficiency, right? But let's think about the downfalls of this. Primarily that, let's say, if you're traveling with a significant other, that means you're going to board at different times.
You are.
Or you're going to have to be like the people that are like, because I'm sure this is probably how they would do it, where it's windows first, but if you're with somebody that's a window, then you get to go with them.
Ooh, that would make sense.
But I guess if you're sitting if they do the window and you do the middle, then that's still pretty efficient because like you guys are getting up. So I guess I can see how this could work.
As long as you can be grouped like that. If you already have your whole row together, mother, father, son, or something, you can just go together.
Yeah, you might as well.
Because if they make you split it up, that'd be messed up. Because then you've got like a 14-year-old by themselves trying to board the plane. We can go even younger. We could say 9, and then that's even scarier.
Yeah,
for that 9-year-old.
Just because there's a hard-nosed flight attendant that's like, nope, we're doing the windows first.
Because then you got to give them their ticket too.
Yeah,
they're going together.
Yeah, that makes sense. But if that's how they do it, maybe this could be the way of the future. Revolutionize the way we fly. They say it can save 2 minutes per flight.
What?
Yeah, all this for 2 minutes per flight. But that adds up when you think about all the flights. Over
2 minutes.
Over
Incredible.
time.
I bet that meeting was riveting when somebody came up with this.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
That time of year where you might start to feel a little sad. And by that, I mean SAD, seasonal affective disorder. You think you have this, Isaiah? You think it's possible?
It hasn't hit me yet.
I think I might have a very minimal seasonal affective disorder, but I don't want to diminish the people that actually have it by saying that I have it, because I'm still a pretty chipper guy.
I know one of the things is like it getting darker earlier.
Yeah,
right.
Less sunlight.
I do like when it's dark in the morning when I'm driving to work.
You do?
I love that.
Why?
I don't like when the sun's up when I'm driving to work because then it's like blinding me.
Okay.
As I'm driving in.
Yeah.
I like for it to be kind of dark.
You need to ease into the day.
Exactly.
If you're wondering if you have seasonal affective disorder, some people call it the winter blues. The top symptom is persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, or anxiety that come along with the wintertime. Not just like if you always have that, then you're just, I guess, depressed, or anxious. But if it comes along around this time of year, it could be seasonal affective disorder. Other symptoms: low energy and increased fatigue, increased need for sleep and difficulty waking up in the morning, cravings for carbs, and weight gain. See, I do feel like a lot of these things add up to me, but I don't chalk it up to seasonal affective disorder. I feel like that's just what you do in the winter. You want carbs, right? You want to put on some weight.
Thicken it up.
Bulk
Warm it up.
Yeah. Difficulty concentrating and making decisions, social withdrawal, and reduced interest in activities, irritability, and heightened sensitivity to rejection. These are all symptoms of seasonal affective disorder if you're experiencing it around this time of year. So now the question is, what do you do to treat it? How do you treat seasonal affective disorder? Here's what doctors recommend. You ready for these?
Okay.
1, get exercise. You got to get out there and get moving.
That's a good idea.
Which is tough at this time of year as it gets cooler, but I mean, you can go to the gym or just do something. Do some walks. Also, it says keep to a sleep schedule. Because your body, it's very important, right? Your body's internal clock, it controls a lot of your mood. watch your diet. They also say be social and set goals and have structure. These are just like all the same recommendations they give you
Any time of the year.
no matter, whether you're dealing with seasonal affective disorder or not.
So let's come up with our own then. They're actually good ones, right?
Yeah. Well, can we get mad at these a little more?
Yeah, sure. Go on.
Because this is like a real disorder, right? And their recommendations are like, get exercise. Like, how about some actual treatment? You know? You go to a doctor, you're saying, I feel like I have seasonal affective disorder. You're like, well, I guess you need exercise. I don't think that's right. Is there some kind of supplement?
A supplement?
Yeah. I want a prescription, doc.
Yeah, everybody does, Hudson.
I've heard
That's what they say.
I need to exercise. I don't want to do that. All right, so what's your recommendation then?
I think you just got to embrace the coziness.
Okay.
Embrace the cuddles.
So
embrace the blanket.
You just want to, instead of being social and exercising, it sounds like you're saying do the opposite.
I'm saying it's okay to just lay on the couch. You don't have to feel bad about, oh my gosh, I'm doing nothing.
Yeah. Oh, definitely don't do that. Definitely don't feel bad about that.
I feel like people sometimes feel a little sorry for themselves in the winter time because they're like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I should be doing more. Everyone's doing this. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're
That's a
part
blessing.
of the many.
It's a blessing to not have to do something. Enjoy that.
On the weekends, make plans. Weekdays, it's not like you were doing all these crazy things in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of nights you were watching Netflix. It's okay to watch Netflix. Find a good
now it's
show.
just darker.
Yeah, it's a little
while you're
darker
watching.
out. It's okay.
My recommendation, this is almost across the board for life, is something new I've started doing. It's find something small to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're doing something you don't like, there's something small about it you could probably appreciate. So find something small to enjoy every day.
I love that.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. RadioU.
Do you consider yourself an influencer?
No.
No, you haven't hit that status yet.
That seems like a big social media thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm not as active on social media.
You're not active. If you're an influencer, do you have to tell people what to buy and do?
You have to influence.
Or do you just like do your thing? Some people could just do their thing, and people just because they like the thing that they see, they want to be like it.
That could also be it.
And then eventually money enters the equation. What if I told you this? What if I told you that God wants you to be an influencer?
Then I am one.
Yeah, I guess so. I think for a lot of people, they might, when they hear that, they might kind of bristle at the idea, either because you're annoyed by influencers on social media, for one, or two, maybe you're thinking, well, I wouldn't want that because I don't want the attention, or again, you don't like influencers that you see because they're parading themselves around, telling people what to buy, what to think, what to do, whatever. But when I say God wants you to be an influencer, I don't mean he wants you to be a social media influencer. What I mean is God wants you to influence others by the way he influences you. When you have a relationship with Jesus and you're talking to him routinely and he's talking to you, that's going to cultivate a lot of traits in you that are very positive, that people are going to be drawn to: courage and joy and patience and kindness. That's what God will give you. He helped that stuff grow in your life. And with you not really changing a lot, like, again, you don't even have to have a social media account, whatever. But because God will grow this stuff in you, it's positive traits, people are going to be drawn to that, and people are going to see that going on in you. And you know, those people that you're just kind of drawn to, where you're like, man, they seem to like just have it figured out a little bit. Like there's just something about them. I like the way they live. That's what God is going to do in you. That's the ideal end point of a relationship with Jesus. One of those is just that you live a life that people are drawn to, that people see and they think that's a person that's got things figured out. I want to be more like them. That's how, and so them being more like you, make them more like God too. If you want to find out what that's about, start talking to God about it. Find out what that actually means from him, from the source. Say, hey, Jesus, I want to know more about that. A lot of those traits actually sounds pretty nice. I think I like some of that. And he'll help you out. If you want to know more, check out RadioU.com/free gift.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. RadioU.
Imagine you're getting close to your wedding and you've got a friend that you definitely want to be in the wedding. I mean, not like in the wedding, but this is a friend, a close friend, you want him to be there. But your friend says, I want to come to the wedding, but also my dog needs to come to the wedding. What do you do?
That's a wild request.
A wild ask, right?
I want my dog to be my plus one.
Some people don't even want kids at the wedding.
Yeah.
Forget about dogs. But this is a story that actually apparently took place recently. We had a bride who had a friend with a dog named Max, a German Shepherd. And this friend desperately wanted Max to be able to attend the wedding because, in her words, Max is a part of the family. Now, the bride, obviously it's a ridiculous request, right?
Yes.
The bride, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is a great out. She said, sorry, Max can't come to the wedding because the venue doesn't allow pets.
Smart.
Yeah.
It's out of my hands.
Yep.
What can I do?
I would love for Max to be there.
I want him there just as much as you.
Yeah. I hope that was a lie. Because
It's a great out.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I would say.
However, this was a big point of contention between the two. Eventually, get this. Eventually, the bride and this woman agreed to have a pre-wedding event beforehand that a formal event that Max was able to attend. That was they compromised.
Unreal.
Unbelievable, right?
This isn't about you, Lisa. Goodness gracious, it's not your day. Max can come to your wedding. He's not coming to mine. Leave your dog at home. It also says he's an energetic German Shepherd. This isn't like a emotional support animal.
Yeah. No, he's just a part of the family.
He's just a wild dog that's going to be there.
And
causing havoc.
What's one of the top things we always know on wedding days? You don't want to take away attention from the bride. You don't think having your German Shepherd at the wedding is going to take attention away? All the pets he's going to get?
Read the room, Lisa.
Yeah. I'm trying to conjure up some kind of defense for Lisa, the dog.
There's no defense.
Yeah, I guess there's not.
Chad says, I work weddings part-time. Animals are sometimes used, and it rarely goes well, regardless of how well-trained they are. That's true. Whenever anybody wants their dog to come down the aisle to bring them things, never goes as planned, no matter how good your dog is.
Yeah. Well, at least if it's a small dog, right, it's cute. It can't cause too much trouble.
There's a million people at the wedding. There's always too many distractions for them.
Exactly. Yeah, you're bringing Max. He might be a part of the family, but a lot of these people are not a part of his family. This is going to be distracting for him. A bunch of strangers.
See, like, what's best case scenario, too? Max doesn't poop inside?
Yeah.
That's best case scenario.
And what? He sits there and gets ignored, as far as the bride's concerned, which isn't fun for Max.
And then...
Or Lisa.
And he has to be quiet. There's no real best case scenario, but there's a lot of worst case scenarios.
And it's not like Max is going to feel left out.
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know what a wedding is. Dogs don't get married. It doesn't mean anything to him.
He's going to be just as happy on Sunday when you see him that he would have been.
Glad I don't have any friends like this.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Uber Eats has put out their annual list of the craziest things. They call it their cravings report. The craziest things people have ordered in the year 2023. See how crazy this sounds to you. 1, a person who requested that their food be put into a box instead of a circular container. Comment said, I refuse to eat any food if presented in a circle container. Please don't ruin my meal for me.
That seems a bit dramatic.
Pretty dramatic. Still tastes the same. That's what your parents would say. Some of the craziest combos, the wild food pairings that people ordered together. Butter and pickled onions.
Ew.
Seaweed and pasta sauce. I can see somebody, maybe our very own Nikki, who would do that. Seaweed, it's a viable pasta substitute. Cottage cheese and mustard. Ew. And condensed milk and avocado. Pretty nasty. Let's just do this. Open up the Riot Hotline, why don't you? Those are some wild food combos. What's your wildest food combo you enjoy? 8772 RadioU. I know everybody's got one. It's weird.
Will they be able to admit it, though?
Yes.
Do you have any weird ones that you can think of off the top of the dome that you know people will be surprised by? Because I'm trying to think of mine, and I don't have a lot of really odd food combos that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I think routine ones that I would actually do. Is it weird? Ketchup on macaroni and cheese?
No.
That's not weird enough?
I think that's a pretty standard.
Some people call that weird.
I would call that
know.
weird because that wouldn't be for me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a pretty standard move.
To be clear, I would never put ketchup on like a baked mac and cheese. This is for like the cheap stuff that comes in a box.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess putting ketchup on just about anything couldn't really be that weird. What about Worcestershire sauce on mac and cheese? Is that weird?
That's getting weirder.
I love Worcestershire.
You're getting closer.
That's probably the top two that I would actually do in real life. I've also done, and people talk about this, putting hot sauce in coffee. I do that every now and then. It's not a routine thing, but it is something that's not bad.
Ooh, these are coming in. People are texting in. Some of these are weird.
All right. Let's give people a few seconds, and we'll see what they're saying. Your weird food combos, text it in, 8772 RadioU.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Talking weird food combos that you actually enjoy. That's because Uber Eats just put out their what they call the cravings report for 2023. Some of the things they saw people order: cottage cheese and mustard together, seaweed and pasta sauce, butter and pickled onions, condensed milk and avocado. Here's what people are texting in, Isaiah. Todd, peanut butter mayonnaise and pickle. So don't knock it till you try it. I'm okay with each of those things individually.
Sounds like an odd combo. Fits right into the segment.
Cheyenne, cottage cheese and SpaghettiOs.
I hate that one more.
You hate that a lot?
I don't like. If I had to rank them so far,
That one's worse.
That one's worse.
I actually understand, because think about this. It's hard for me to endorse SpaghettiOs. They're just not a good actual food. But putting cottage cheese in, that's kind of like lasagna.
Lasagna.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can understand that.
Yep, I connect with you there.
Bailey says carrots and cucumbers dipped in Nutella.
I like that one.
Those are odd choices, but I mean, if you have to eat carrots,
It's better in Nutella.
Nutella is going to make it better. It's going to
Cucumbers dipped in
improve.
Nutella is odd, but I would be okay with that. I like that one.
Kendrick says cheese puffs dipped in ketchup. I can see the logic, I guess. Cheese and ketchup usually works, but I don't
go so much for cheese and ketchup.
Yeah, I think in that case, it's hard for me to imagine me enjoying that. Susanna says, I don't know how weird it is, but I love bean soup with chopped pickles and raw tomatoes on the side, and then I mix them in a few bites at a time. You don't know how weird it is? That's very weird. All of it. For me personally, I hate raw tomatoes.
So do I.
Anytime you start with bean soup, it's going to be weird. That's definitely not in our up our alley. This one I understand. Paul, I can see how this could work. Frozen Fig Newtons with jalapeno jelly. I understand. That just sounds like it makes sense. Spicy and sweet together a little
I
bit.
haven't had a Fig Newton in a long time.
No, me neither.
And I've never had a frozen one. Sounds good, though.
Victoria, another peanut butter sandwich. She says peanut butter, banana, and bologna. Here's what I'm wondering about some of these too. How do you find out you like this? How did
I have no idea.
Todd come about the peanut butter, pickle, and mayonnaise sandwich? Why would you do that in the first place is what I'm wondering.
Maybe you were in hard times.
Yeah.
Really hungry.
You had 3 things left.
Didn't have a lot of ingredients.
Kind of girl dinner style.
See, I would have just made the peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah. You didn't need to add
I wouldn't have added those things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starving. I better put this mayonnaise on here.
Yeah.
That'll help fill me up.
Peanut butter on bread alone, not good enough. Regina said, I said I like mac and cheese with ketchup on it. And she said it makes her feel better to know I'm not alone with the ketchup on mac and cheese. She says her mom did that. And sometimes she would be afraid to do it because of how she thought people would react. But now she says she's going to, because we just normalized it here on The Riot, she's going to freely put ketchup on her mac and cheese and don't care who's watching.
Philip says when his wife was pregnant, Taco Bell and peanut butter jelly. I don't know how that would work.
I like both of those things individually. I can see how that could be good together.
I don't like any of these. I don't like any of them.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Here's a new feature on Tinder. Would you test this out if you were allowed on Tinder, Isaiah? Call it Matchmaker. It's where you can invite up to 15 loved ones who don't have to have a Tinder account. Up to 15 of your closest friends and family members that you trust. You can invite them to play Matchmaker for you and send you people on Tinder that they think would be a good match for you. Would you do that?
I think this is a bad idea.
You think it's bad?
This is a bad idea. Number one, because I think you should get on there yourself. You don't need the help, I don't think. I don't think you need that many people swiping for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like an unreal amount of matches.
Yeah.
Way too many. Way too many options. And number two, I'm seeing here that these friends that you're giving it to, they don't even have to have Tinder.
Yeah, right. Well, of course, because maybe some of them are happily in relationships.
And you don't want them on the app.
No, that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
So that's why I think it's a no-go. I'm not going to ask my friends with girlfriends to swipe for me on Tinder because then they're going to be on there swiping along and either their girlfriend's going to get mad or they're going to find someone on there that they're like, hey, maybe this girl works for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to hang out with my girlfriend anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of bad, not a lot of good could come from this.
Would you do this if a friend asked you if they wanted you to be your matchmaker on Tinder?
I would do it for like, if we were together at the time and we were sitting on the couch really bored, I would do it for like 10 minutes. But I wouldn't in my free time be like, well, I got to get a girl for Roger.
a pretty wild activity. Yeah, let me just go swipe through a few gals, see if any of them feel like a fit for my friend, Eric. Yeah, that'd be pretty strange.
And I'll text you, hey, I found a good one for you.
I'll tell you what, though.
I don't know if you checked. She's in there on your matches.
Yeah. Then you get really invested.
Yeah. Have you been texting her?
Yeah. Crystal, have you talked to her?
What'd you say? Why would you say that?
I sent her to you a week ago.
Why would you say that?
Yeah.
I told you she's not into that.
You're totally screwing this up for me.
Just let me text her. All right?
For
you.
Right.
You don't need to do anything.
I'd be very honored if somebody asked me to do this, though. Wouldn't you?
So like now Isaiah
trusted you this much?
He knows what I like.
Yeah. I've been striking out a bit lately, but I think you know who knows what I need? Isaiah.
This could also be a very humbling experience for some
That's what
people.
I was thinking too.
If I ask my friend, I'm like, hey, can you get some matches for me? And they start rolling in, and I'm like, wait a minute. These are the people you think I should be with?
Right. This is what you think of me? Yeah, tough look in the mirror.
I've only been swiping right on 10s. These are 9s.
You want me to lower my standards?
And they're like, no, buddy, these are
Yeah.
your standards.
This is your league. This is
This is where you end up.
This is the stadium you are in right now. Yeah, I don't know. I struggle to find how this could be a good thing. But if somebody wants to ask me to be their matchmaker, I'm more than welcome. More than happy to do it.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Is that this weekend you had a wedding that you were going to?
I did go to a wedding this weekend.
And I think we need an update for everybody. Bring everybody up to speed on the date and your dad and how that went
So
after the fact.
It ended up working out like this, right? We went to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was
there
out
was-
of town.
There was a big complication of, is my brother's girlfriend and my date, are they going to be stranded with my dad for like a 3-hour period, right?
During the rehearsal dinner.
During the rehearsal dinner, because I was in the wedding. And what ended up happening, I went to the rehearsal dinner. My date went to the rehearsal dinner. And my dad stranded my brother's girlfriend along with him for probably 4 hours.
So you didn't get exactly what you wanted because you wanted your date
Yes.
and your dad to be,
stranded.
yeah. So
With
that didn't work
nothing
out,
to
but
do.
you still got some awkwardness. And so
And-
what happened between your dad and your brother's girlfriend?
It was so funny because I was at the rehearsal dinner and it ended. And there was like, after that, everybody was kind of like coming up and just kind of hanging out, talking and whatnot. And so I called my dad. I'm like, hey, if you want, you can just come up here because like, the rehearsal dinner's over and everything. And we're kind of just relaxing now. Just kind of like chatting, hanging out, family, friends and whatnot. And he's like, I'll come up there soon. But me and Macy are in the midst of a really good movie. and so they had no issues at all. Just hanging out and watching movies and relaxing for like a 4-hour period.
You know
I think it was probably better that way.
You know what they watched?
I'm not sure.
Oh, darn it. That'd be interesting to know.
Something good.
What could they have agreed on?
Well, I know exactly.
Yeah,
she probably picked something.
Yeah.
My dad's a pretty good movie watcher, so you'd be surprised at the movies he'll watch.
Yeah.
He's a pretty wide array. He's very versatile in that way. From top to bottom, any age group he fits in with.
So
But it ended up being a good weekend. There was no big disasters. I was hoping for one disaster.
no drama at the
There
wedding.
was no drama, and I thought there would be. I thought there might be some more drama than there was. I was glad that it went unscathed for the bride and groom. But you always want there to be like one little side thing going on that maybe the bride and groom don't know about, but it's kind of going on the side.
Well-
someone's sister's really mad about someone's brother, something like that. Nothing good like that happened.
Well, you know what they say, that if you're hoping for drama to go on and you don't hear anybody whispering about drama, that means you're the drama.
I'm the drama. It was me.
Somebody was whispering
I
about
was
you.
causing the issue.
Yeah.
Someone was hating me at the wedding. That's probably what actually happened.
That's what it was. And you were just blissfully unaware. I'm glad it was a good time. I wish it would have been more dramatic.
I know, next time.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than The Riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.